Whole point is Bronny James has been a slightly above average late second round pick. That's what he's been as a pro. A slightly above average late second round pick. That's it. And the folks that used him as a cudgel because they hate LeBron should be embarrassed.
Nick Wright defends Bronny James. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
And this is a little about Bronny, and this is more about media criticism.
Clutch Sports exclusive.
But a little less than a year ago, we were in full-blown Bronny James meltdown in the media about the scourges of nepotism and LeBron forcing the Lakers into such a mistake and pleading with LeBron as a father to stop this farce, and folks claiming that their heart just goes out to the other potential draftees who got snubbed because the Lakers wasted the 55th pick on Bronny.
Here we go, another Clutch Sports exclusive. Not surprised that Nick Wright is taking this position. He's been standing on business as far as his stepson Bronny, defending him, but at the end of the day, he's going to try to talk past it. But it was really about the integrity of the league, the Lakers looking like a mockery, taking a player they knew they shouldn't draft it, but it was all about pleasing LeBron James. But of course, he's going to look past that.
And now, the last two games, the Lakers, who are super shorthanded, Sunday night, we're in a tight game with Miami, played Bronny in crunch time. He played really good defense, had one awesome driving kick for a critical three, and they won. 18 minutes. Solid, end of the bench performance. And then yesterday, in a game where LeBron was out, Luka was out, and Austin Reaves was out, they called on Bronny again against the Blazers when the Blazers were double-digit favorites. And Bronny played 19 minutes, had 6 assists, had no turnovers, and the Lakers won again. Now, do I think...
Okay, so Bronny didn't look as bad as he normally looks, and no one's rooting for the downfall of Bronny, but at the end of the day, he can play 2 games to where he doesn't mess up the joint, but he's a non-factor. Look at the plus minuses. Look at those stats. Yeah, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. That's cool. That's great. Good for him. Slowly progressing. Maybe he can be less of a trash player, but that's still not going to cut it in today's day and age in the NBA. You got to be able to score. You got to be able to do much more. So, yeah, you can have a good 18 or 19 minutes where you don't look terrible, but if you're Bronny James, it's going to take a lot more to be a rotational player. Think about when the Lakers are healthy. He's not going to get any minutes unless the Lakers are up by 30 or down by 30.
Bronny is a great player? Obviously not. Do I think Bronny is even going to be a rotation guy this year for the Lakers when they're healthy? No. Do I think if we are going to be fair and we are going to look at this objectively, we should say, hey, how does his production up to this point in the season compare to the other guys drafted in the second half of the first round? I think that's fair. So if you go picks 45 through, I think there were only 58 in that draft, oddly, instead of 60. And you're like, oh, so of those 14 guys, 7 of them are not on an NBA roster. So, he certainly is providing more value than those 7.
Here we go with the stats. He's just going to look player by player. Again, that's what he does best. He wants to at least prove what he's talking about with all the stats, but who cares? At the end of the day, None of those players' father is LeBron James. They don't have any representation by Clutch Sports. They don't have any networks in the league. Think about all those players if they were the son of LeBron. Their basketball careers would be different right now. But if you're Bronny, you can play terrible and you're still going to be on the team. Think about Nick Smith Jr. If they had to choose between Bronny and Nick Smith, guess who they're going to choose? They're going to choose Bronny James because of LeBron James and Clutch Sports. So he can say all that. Bronny played 2 amazing games compared to the other people around his draft, but it doesn't really matter because none of them are the son of LeBron James.
Of those 14 guys, only Quentin Post, Jamal Shedd, and Cam Spencer have played more minutes. Okay. Of those 14 guys, only Jamal Shedd and Cam Spencer have more assists. Of those 14 guys, only Cam Spencer has more steals. Of those, now Bronny his field goal percentage is like 20%. He hasn't shot much, but I think he's, I think he's 2 for 11 on the.
And that's his issue. He can't shoot. So he's going to try to massage the issue that Bronny James isn't trash. Okay, trash may be a harsh word. Bronny James is an NBA ready. He doesn't have the NBA feel for the game. Those other players that he named, they can play in the NBA. Much more taller, much more locked in when it comes to the NBA. Bronny, he still plays a little scared out there. So even though he had a solid moment where he didn't turn the ball over in the game, that's good for him. No one's rooting on the downfall of Bronny James, but again, he shouldn't be in the NBA. Nick knows it, but he can't tell the truth. He's a Clutch Sports plant.
So obviously he's not shooting the ball well. He's not shooting the ball much.
He can't
but
shoot.
You look at that draft and all the crying that was done. Pick 47 has not played, is not on a roster. Pick 48 has played 11 minutes. Pick 49, pick 50, pick 51 has not played or on G League teams. Pick 52, Quentin Post, has actually been solid for the Warriors. And pick 53, Cam Spencer's been solid for the Grizzlies. Pick 54, not on a roster. Pick 55, Bronny. Pick 56, pick 57, G League, or not on a roster. And pick 58, Huck Porty, apologies, has played 40 minutes for the Knicks and has been given, slightly less production than Bronny, right in line with it.
Again, my point's exactly. None of those players are the son of LeBron James. So at the end of the day, they may not be in the league minus the other 2 players. So you got to think, Bronny can play like trash. Those other players can play like trash, but they're not going to get a fair shot and multiple opportunities to get a 4-year, $7-8 million contract, play in the G League, have the G League revolve around them, and still have a chance to play on the Lakers or any other team. Again, all that is cool what you're saying. You're trying to back up Bronny James with those stats with the other players around his draft, but it doesn't really matter because, again, no one's represented by Clutch Sports and nobody's the son of LeBron James. Bronny will have multiple opportunities to be trash in the NBA.
Whole point is Bronny James has been a slightly above average late second round pick. That's what he's been as a pro. A slightly above average late second round pick. That's it. And the folks that used him as a cudgel because they hate LeBron should be embarrassed. That's the Bronny James update. Good for him for being pressed into service, for all of a sudden a frisky Lakers team that got a win as a double-digit underdog without its 3 best players. And good for him for playing his first ever crunch time NBA minutes the night before and just looking the part of, oh yeah, that looks like the 11th best guy on an NBA team.
Congrats to Bronny James for being the 11th best person on the team. But again, when players are healthy, no more injuries going on with the Lakers, Bronny isn't going to get any minutes. Now, if Bronny was on another team that he can play a lot, maybe he'll have an opportunity to grow. But as long as he's on the Lakers, as long as he's being coddled by LeBron, he's pretty much not going to be an NBA player. Yeah, can he play moments here and there and look decent? Don't trash up the joint? Sure, but that's not saying a lot if you're the 11th best person on the team. Bronny James isn't going to get any significant minutes while he's on the Lakers. And if his game doesn't increase, he's not able to put the ball in the basket. He's just going to be a player that got blessed into the league because he's the son of LeBron, and that's it. That's not going to cut it. Bronny James has to step his game up, so everything Nick Wright is saying, he's just a clutch sports plant trying to protect LeBron and Bronny James.